Young lady back there. Thank you.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Rachel Ingber. You mentioned at the beginning that you were also looking at ethno-linguistic identification, and I was wondering if you had any findings based on that, in particular, if based on ethnic or linguistic identification, if that made a difference in the way they answered any of the other questions.
Yeah, thank you. This is a good question. So we did something a bit weird in this survey. As opposed to just tell people a list of boxes from which to check, are you Kurd, Turk, Lur, Arab, etc., we let people tell us what they thought they were. And in fact, we did this because when we ran a pilot test, meaning you run a smaller version of the survey to check the validity of the questions, we ran into an interesting problem. We used the Persian word for ethnicity in the survey, qawmiyat. Qawmiyat is a relatively new word in Iran. I think maybe it dates from the 1970s. It's basically used by intellectuals and academics. Titles of books in the University of Tehran's bookstore have qawmiyat in the title of ethnicity. When we asked individuals about their qawmiyat, half of the people didn't even know what that meant. They were like, I don't understand that question. So we had to change the question a bit, and we did a pretty weird thing, which I don't think has been done in any part of the Middle East. We first asked people just to tell us their origins. Where are you from? Where's your father from? Where's your mother from? We use the language of everyday speech in Iran. So what people say when they meet you. We didn't say qawmiyat, we said, where are you from? And we recorded those answers raw, and I have a big file of all the raw answers. A lot of it's just geographical, but the interesting thing is how they answer. Then we said, you know, some people in Iran would say that they're both Kurd and Lur, or Turk and X. So we gave them examples, because many people in Iran, they're actually mixed. You know, they have parents from one side. There's so much movement in Iran over the last 40 years. That the idea that there's these coherent, stable ethnic groups that sit in the villages and act all the same way is crazy. And modern Iran is a big mixed society. So we said, you know, tell us. And a lot of people said, okay, I'm this and this. But a lot of people said, nah, I don't know. Or I don't have an answer. And in fact, interesting thing in Iran is the poorer you were, the less likely you were to say that you belong to a bunch of ethnic groups, which is the opposite of what you would see in a country like Lebanon or Syria, where ethnicity, sect is a part of the way that everyday difference occurs. And the state talks to you based on your ethnicity or your sect. In Iran, there's not a lot of, by the way, state's not going around saying, because you're Arab this, because you're Kurd this. So then finally we asked, you know, are you this? And we got a much more closed thing. So I'm actually going to write a whole brief on ethnicity in Iran and take a look at, because it's not just the individuals that are sitting in Baluchistan or Kurdistan. These individuals have moved to Tehran, moved to big cities, have mixed families. So I think that we talk about ethnicity in Iran in a very old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
It's not the way that individuals themselves talk about it.
I can hear the regime change crowd going, oh, but it's only barely 50% Persian, and there are all these seething ethnic minorities that are ready to tear the state down, and so on and so forth. So yeah.
There's always vocal minorities in any group. The question is, are these identity cleavages salient in everyday politics in Iran? And of course, you know, jokes, cultural tropes, people's old languages of Iran. These are all part of also understanding of what it is to be Iranian. But you know, it's not like Turkey, where there's kind of single homogenous or homogenizing ethnic state that Turkified everyone. And if you're Kurd, you're a mountain Turk, you know, according to the Ataturk's plan. Iran never had a homogenizing ethnic policy. Certainly not after the revolution.
Really interesting. Let's see. Yes, gentleman right here.